today's 944 day I'm here to listen to learn. I'm learning how does to support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today we'll speak about the things that you'll never know about other person. The things that we'll never know about other person. Because sometimes we potentially could think that we know other person. But we always need to understand that we will never understand fully other person. Even sometimes that we feel that we know. Most likely, we just know just a scratch. And when we feel that we know that scratch, we start to feel that we know other person. So today we'll focus on things that we do not know about other person. So number one is inner thoughts. Inner thoughts. That means that when you look into a person, the way how they speak, the way how they communicate, the way how they act, even though that sometimes actions seem that shows one thing, but you will never know what they're thinking. Fully what they're thinking. And a lot of times they just not able to express themselves. They're not able to express exactly how they think. I think that sometimes they express themselves pretty well, but you'll never know their internal thoughts. What are those thoughts? Because every single person has inner thoughts that a lot of times we do not share fully. We don't know the full depth of their thoughts. Anyway, because a lot of times they could just share just the surface level. Number two is personal struggles. Personal struggles. That means, of course, they could share that they struggle with if they share. But a lot of times we do not understand in the extent of that struggle. How they see that struggle. Because we understand that every single person's perspective, resilience, motivations, everything is different. And because based on that, we will not understand what is their struggle. Because for you, might be that one struggle is just very small bump. For other person, that one the same struggle could be a massive mountain. So we need to understand that where they are, because when you grow, improve, get better, the struggles changes. The struggle that was big in the past now becomes smaller. And now because if those struggles seems for you small, for other person those struggles still seems big. So being aware that your struggles, what you feel as struggles, for other person could be totally different struggles because your strengths could be someone else's weaknesses. So what it seems easy for you, someone else could be a massive struggle. Number three is past experiences. We'll never know in the depth of what are those experiences. What kind of experiences led them to think this way, act this way, have beliefs, morals, values. Because, of course, we understand the person, but we never lived in their eyes. We never experienced every experience the way how they did. Because a lot of times we have exactly the same experience, but we take totally different things from that experience. Because we take from that experience what we are ready to take. So it means that two people experience exactly the same experience, that past experience, will have totally different experience. Because how they perceive that experience will change everything. That's a big one. Number four is unspoken aspirations. Unspoken aspirations might be that someone have a massive aspirations, but they don't tell because maybe it seems that it's too big, too massive, or something that it's holding them back from really taking action and moving forward to understand that this is my aspiration. This is because it's very hard to encourage the unspoken aspiration. If you do not know that they have that unspoken aspiration, how are you supposed to help them? Of course, we need to work to really allow people to dream, empower people. Say like, what are those goals, aspirations that if nothing impossible, that if you take and there's no chances of not succeed, what would those be? And it's very hard to really grasp what are those aspirations. People want to really hide their true aspirations. Number five is true feelings. They will share a lot of feelings. They will share emotions. They will share how they feel. But they will never feel true feelings, like depth of those feelings. Because it might be that someone is feeling massively discouraged. But he'll say like, oh, I feel a little bit discouraged. So that means that emotion will not share how they actually fully feel. It's very hard to understand and hear because every single person experiences the same emotions exactly differently. One person experiencing it fully, some person a little bit less. So if you're not able to experience that emotion in a level that other person is experiencing, you will never understand, you will never know how they feel. Because you've never been in that moment. You've never been experiencing that emotion this way. So we'll never feel how they feel, even though that we will have a grasp how they feel. And that's it. But we need to work towards that to be able to connect and learn. Number 6 is private preferences. That means we never know exactly how they prefer everything. Because it might be that they keep them for themselves. Everything around. Maybe they just don't want to create some kind of trouble and don't share all the preferences. Because every single person has hundreds of preferences. And those preferences, sometimes it's too small of a deal to the people to share them. And you don't know their preferences. Because they don't want to make it difficult, they don't want to be a burden. And I think that's, we need to understand that. Well, how do you prefer this? Because asking this question will allow us to really, maybe the things that you really love to do is that there's no difference for you either. So understanding other person's perspective, the other person's preference is always nice to think to ask. Number 7 is hidden talents or strengths. We'll never know those things. We'll never know hidden talents about the person. Because maybe they just are not empowered, not discouraged to use that strength. Maybe they didn't develop yet. And because they didn't develop that strength yet, that talent yet, it's still quite weak. But there's a lot of hidden talents in every single person. And we'll never know that. Because a lot of times, those people do not take that step to really develop those talents, develop those strengths, that they could really become an expert. And I think that we always need to encourage each other to really pursue things that, no matter what, you're moving forward and in developing the talents, developing new skills, that you could find your obsession, to find your passion. Number 8 is internal motivations. What is internally motivating? What is fulfilling? Every single person has those different things. And we need to understand that, okay, share, what is your motivations? What motivates you internally, not externally? Because external motivations are everyone's almost the same. Everyone wants to be validated, everyone wants to appreciate, all quite similar. But what are internal motivations? Those are that is unique. Every single person has different internal motivations. And we need to really try to understand our motivations, because you're able to bring resources and encouragement to pursue those internal motivations. Number 9 is a silent sacrifice. Silent sacrifice. That is a very powerful saying. Silent sacrifice. What do you sacrifice? For friendship, for family, for career, for something else? What kind of sacrifice do they make? Sometimes we will not know exactly what people are sacrificing. What they say yes to, when they say yes to, what they say no to. What they say no to, because a lot of times we are people pleaser. We want to say yes. We want to help. We want to add value. And because we do that, we're sometimes sacrificing things. And we need to always ask, what he's sacrificing? Maybe he's silent about it, but maybe he's sacrificing. And then we can potentially ask, like, if you would not do this, what you would do instead? If you not do this, what you would do instead? Because at that moment you understand that maybe by doing one thing, he sacrificed something really thing that is really meaningful. That internal motivation that you do not know about. It's very hard to understand. Number 10 is unexpressed regret. Unexpressed regret. Most likely, most people have some source of regret. Some people have bigger ones, massive regrets, and some people have small ones. Unexpressed regrets, we'll never know about those. I have regrets. I truly believe that every single person at least has small regret that they have, maybe didn't express yet. And maybe express regret, but they don't express the extent of regret. And of course, we need to learn to let it go and be grateful about the lesson. But still, it's not that easy to let go of regrets. Number 11 is private relationships. You never know sometimes, okay, what kind of relationships do you have and with whom? And private relationships is one thing that is we need to understand that every single person, because it has different values, beliefs, morals, preferences, everything in between, we have different people that we connect with. And private relations is one thing that sometimes we never know. Number 12 is personal beliefs. Every single person has the different beliefs, and they don't share all the beliefs that they have. And we'll never know full extent of their beliefs, because their beliefs is dictating their actions. So if you don't know where the action is coming from and what kind of beliefs do they have to really act this way, I think this is very important to really try to understand beliefs. What do you believe? Because one thing is that we do not know what we believe in yet. Sometimes we need to really discuss and journal what do we believe in. So if we do not understand our own beliefs, the extent of our beliefs, we will never understand other people's beliefs either. So when you work on your own beliefs, understanding where they're coming from, you're able to really start working on other people's beliefs as well. Number 13 is financial realities. Sometimes people will not understand what is their finances. They'll never know exactly how much they would love to learn, how much they're learning and earning. And financial realities, it will be potential that you never know. Number 14 is health issues. Number of things that health issues, like what are those health issues that might be that they do not know. Even it might be that they do not know by themselves. And because they don't know by themselves, you will not know as well, because every single body is so unique, so different. And health issues will be totally different as well. Number 15, and this is powerful, inner growth. Inner growth. That means that a lot of times we don't see other person growing or depleting, growing or depleting. We'll never see that because external doesn't show up that right away. That growth and depletion show up after years, when the external things start to show up. But we never see that internal change, internal improvement, internal growth, internal depletion. So we need to really communicate and ask questions about even beliefs. We never know about beliefs and values and everything because they're changing, they're improving. I will never know full extent of their growth or depletion. Number 16 is hidden joys. Hidden joys. That means that it might be that we don't know exactly what makes them fulfilled, what makes them joyful, what makes them tick. What are the bliss mode for them? Because for them, one person is nature, another architecture. Every single person has different joys, and it's really trying to understand our person, what makes them joyful is very important, because we, as people, are supposed to be work very hard to bring those joy moments to those people, that they could experience that joy as often as possible. Life is about joy, and we need to bring, not for ourselves as well, but to others, those joyful moments. And the last one, number 17, is personal fears. Every single person has fears that sometimes we do not express. We don't express our fears fully. So understanding what they are fearful, because when they're afraid, they don't take action on the things that they are aspired to be. So we need to really help them overcome, because might be that those fears is not your fears. And maybe able to teach them how to overcome those fears that they could pursue the things that they want. Because this topic is very, very important. Because if you do not know other person, you'll know what they're going through. And if they don't know what you're going through, it could lead them to really very bad direction. But if you know and you're working very hard to understand other person's perspective, goals, aspirations, joys, bliss, you're able to work very hard to help them to live a fulfilled, joyful life. Because I truly believe that every single person, we care about other person. But if we care enough, we need to understand each other. And not just have that shortcut. Oh, I know you. No, we'll never know ourselves. Because when you really accept that we'll never know you fully enough, then you're working very hard to invest your time to understand as much as you can to help other person to live a better life. So I hope you just win, and see you tomorrow.